And hello and welcome to the 12th instalment for the 2014-15 season of Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show, sponsored by Urtec Holdings, our major sponsor, on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. I'm your host, Dave Minear, and tonight we have a fairly, not a happy show because the results weren't that good this weekend, but we've got a very interesting show for all our listeners though, because we'll go through all the results of the games on the weekend with the mighty Willetton Dragons, and we'll also have a Northside residential interview as well. And instead, we're gonna change it up a little bit this week. Instead of going for a current player, an ex-player, or a club legend, or anything like that, like an Ian Purcell, we're going to go with Adam Griffith, the Scorchers assistant coach, and also the assistant coach of the Warriors, and get his thoughts on everything that's been going on in the past couple of weeks in Western Australian cricket. So that should be a great interview, and I reckon everyone should stay tuned. But first of all, let me introduce my fantastic co-host, life member, Premiership player, Director of Cricket, Club legend and former JP Robbins medalist, Ian Purcell. IJ, how are you, mate?
Yes, evening, Vernon. I'm very well, thank you, and thanks for that very, very lovely introduction. Mate, got to say, looking forward to speaking to Big Griff. He's always, we've had him on here last season, and he shared some very interesting thoughts with us. Very smart man, but yeah, it'd be very interesting to chat to the big fella.
Yeah, he's had a couple of interviews. It's not his first. I remember one night in the studio here with him and Mitchell Guy, and and Griff and I and yourself, mate, and that was a fantastic evening. But as I said, looking forward to, after the week that the obviously the Scorchers have had, winning the BBL 4, and also with the way the Wacker are going at the moment, it'd be a good time to have a good chat with him. Yeah,
look, the Wacker boys are certainly travelling very well, aren't they? You know, the Matador and the BBL, and just top it off just with the Sheffield Shield. Vern, what are their chances, you reckon?
I reckon they're a pretty good chance at the moment, mate. Apparently, South Australia is struggling a little bit with Chuck Berry taking personal leave. Apparently, his brother's very ill.
Ooh, that's not good.
So yeah, I don't know how well everything's going there in South Australia, and I think that the only other real big options there. I mean, you got your Victoria. They've lost a few games. Really, WA are looking like the strength. They've got a lot of strength. They've got a big squad. I mean, you even have a look at the Scorchers last week with Mackin coming in, and he didn't even play. Yeah. I mean, you look what they've got. They've got an unbelievable side.
I think, like I say, they're starting to reap the reward of all the hard work they put in, and shown a lot of faith in these young players, haven't they? So it's good to see them coming good. The other one maybe is the old Blue Baggers. Depends who they manage to draft in and what's going on. Because they all of a sudden seem to pop out a couple, like what happened to us last year, wasn't it? In the Sheffield Shield final. So
definitely.
I think it's good to see though WA cricket. It's taken them a while because we did have a very, very lean patch there. I think about 10 years. I think in between trophies, isn't it?
I think it was 98, 99. Or 99, 2000 was the last Shield, something like that.
Which is even longer, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was a while ago. But I think the interesting thing will be, the loss of Phil Hughes, not just in the loss of his life, but the loss of him with South Australia is going to be massive. I think they're going to really struggle to replace him.
Yep.
And Victoria's got a bit of a strange sort of looking side at the moment, where they've got a lot of guys who are on the cusp of probably calling it quits. They haven't got a lot of younger guys coming through. So there's no reason why the WA can't be strong for another, build a dynasty and be strong like this for another 10 years, because it's all been set up well. And after that, the myriad of coaches they had in that little, era, where they had Moody, obviously, and then they had, all those, Mickey Arthur, and who was the other one? The other one that...
Mickey's assistant.
Yeah, Mickey's assistant, Lockie Stevens.
Yep.
And, so through that period, it was obviously pretty tough. So it's good that they've got some stability, and obviously that helps with the results on the field.
Yeah, true, doesn't it? And like I say, hopefully maybe Mitch Johnson might come in and, in a couple of years when he decides to call it quits from the longer versions and just be playing a bit of 2021 days, because, geez, wasn't he on fire on the weekend too, Vern?
Oh, mate, I don't know how much longer we'll see him out there. And I remember where you heard it first. I don't know. I don't know how long you'll see him in whites anymore. I don't think. I think we could be seeing the renaissance of him and the final couple of series in the whites, because I think he'll tend to probably go for that shorter format, and it's just better. He's struggling as well at his age because the body isn't as good as what it used to be, regardless of how fit you are.
Yep.
Age hits us all, so it's going to be interesting.
Some a bit more than others, doesn't it, Vern? So.
Yeah, well, I look like I'm 48, so that's at 34.
That's right, mate. I got called the oldest Purcell on the weekend, considering my brother's 46. That's really great to hear. Thanks, young Wiggers, if you're listening.
But, mate, we've got we'll get back to it, and we'll come back to all that later because it's going to be really interesting, speaking of Griffo, on the line tonight on Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show. But first, mate, we better go through all the results of... well, we had a Vets game the other week, obviously.
Sorry, I can't believe I've taken this long. Vern, talk us through it, please. I've got to say, mate, I just have to say, interject here and say that the loudest cheer I have ever heard from the veranda at Kingsway 1 occurred last Sunday when you made that played that immaculate shot just wide of the former Test cricketer Joe Angel at mid-on there, and it raced away to the boundary for your first runs in 5 digs. Is that correct?
Mate, correct. And I think Joey, from memory, the half over I did face of him, he was bowling up around about that 145 mark easily. At least.
Probably maybe 150, 160, as some of them were, Vernon.
Maybe 14.5. Maybe I got the speed gun mixed up. But no, it was a great game. And as I said,
how many did you end up with, David? Just for the listeners out there.
Well, I retired at 50, mate, and then got brought back in to win the game, netting 11 off 5.
And how many wickets did you get in the bowling department, Vern? When you
2 for 12.
I heard this bit of a rumour that when the captain actually asked you to bowl, you were giving him the old "Don't really look, Cap. I don't really want to bowl."
Yes, Ian, I did do that to you, mate.
But he did make you bowl, and look what happened.
Well, mate, I actually got to be really honest, mate. I was more excited about that, I reckon, than the 54, because take 2 for 12 and get our Dylan's old mate Neil Mullally, who Dylan gets out for fun over the years, and it was really good because another Minear got him out, and he even commented about that. Yeah. But as he said, he'd never seen me bowl before, and funny that because not many people have.
Did you double your wicket tally as well, Vern? Your career wicket tally was doubled on the weekend?
Well, in Australia, my career wicket tally is sitting at 4 as a senior cricketer, so it's really smoking along now, and it's amazing. I've taken all my wickets post 30, so it's been really interesting the way that's happened. So
wily old bowler that you are now, aren't you?
But enough about me. But the boys, obviously, great game, and we fell just a little short for those listeners that popped down because we had a great crew pop down there and watch that game with obviously the normals, with the boys taking over our flame at the club there. Jimmy DiCarlo's and Aidan Fawcett's and all those boys, and they popped down to watch, which was lovely, and support the boys. All the older boys still there, and
it's good to see. Though, like say Warren Beckwith, Terry Curtis, Alan Marshall, Sean McGurran, Andrew Slattery, just to name a few.
Oh, Peebs Marshall, how good looking Dorian Gray still is. Unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, still managed to run in and just how funny is he runs in the first ball and just hits and almost rolls on the ground. He's like, oh my god, what am I doing? Put a bit more back into it and got a couple up around shin height. So yeah, it's good to see.
But the funniest part of the day, Ian, and I know you're with me on this, had to be Joey Angel getting belted to the leg side boundary by a certain Warren the Almanac Beckwith, our guest last week.
Mate, I happened to be down the non-strikers for that, I've got to say, and once I managed to pick my jaw up and put it back where it normally goes and go down and say good day to Wazza, never seen a man smile so much as he did right there. I think it made his day, didn't it? Sorry, made his career, I reckon that did.
It was really funny after the game. Even Slats was just laughing about it. We were just in tears. It was awesome. And Joey, I don't think he'd seen it go that quick off the bat, not even bowling to Darren Lehman or Greg Blewett. I
was going to say, it's been a long time since Joey's seen one come off like that off his bowling, isn't it? So,
but no, it was great. And like you said, mate, it was good to see a few of those boys back at the club because a few of them we haven't seen. Sean McGorrian, absolute champion and a former A-grader. Obviously, you touched on Peebs Marshall, Alan Marshall being there, a former A-grader as well. Yep. But Slats and all that, it was just a great day, and the boys really enjoyed it.
It was a Dave Minear's day, though, let's be honest, mate. 2 for 12, 50. Nearly won the game. That's the only thing you missed out on, mate.
I know, disappointing. We did go down to Perth by about 5 runs, I think. 6 runs, 7 runs, 7 runs.
Like I say, we missed out on the no premiership points we were playing for, so realistically...
the results aren't even on my cricket, mate, so it doesn't matter.
So did it really happen,
All right, mate, well, we better go, without digressing any further, we better get on to the... we've tried to dodge them long enough.
Haven't we? Yeah, you're probably right there, Ben. Look, on the weekend, I've got to say, before we actually, before we went out and batted this week, I was fairly confident that we would... make a good steed of chasing down the 328 that Wilson posted. But I think the boys started off really well and had a very, very good opening partnership there between Bobby McGee and Johnny Rogers there. They were travelling all right at none for 53, but unfortunately then we've managed to lose Robbie Richards for none as well after Mitch with his 24 and Bucky with his 27. Then Jakey Fawcett I thought was going to go all right, unfortunately with his 5. Then Kyle Miller not even bothering with the scorers there. Joel Charles with a 32, very well done. Christian Smith didn't trouble the scorers, nor did Jason Parry. And then it came down to, at this stage, I think we were 6 for 60, so ended up 7 for 60 as well there. So look, it's fairly bit disappointing. Not much the bottom order could do in that event. But look, Jared McPhee, who an outstanding young player, had a very good game there. He ended up with 40, and according to Wayne Pearson, probably handled Michael Beer the best out of anyone. So that's something really good from him. And the old dog in Gary Atkinson there with 38, and Quelchie finished with 14 not out. So yeah, unfortunately we got skittled in 72 overs for 186, mate, which is probably not really good enough, is it?
Definitely not, mate. I heard a rumour going around yesterday while at the cricket that there could have been possibly a state coach that popped down to have a look at some of the bowlers, and some of the boys sort of were sort of deers in headlights, if that makes any sense.
Not a rumour, David. It was confirmed truth there, yes, that the Wayne's client in his tiling days, Justin Langer, was down there. Yeah, look, I think maybe a couple of boys get a little bit nervous and probably didn't play to their potential. Unfortunately, got a little bit scared with. I'm not scared is the right word. I think, like I said, the old deer in the headlights, isn't it? So look, just a very, very disappointing result. Look, they've got a very, very good bowling lineup, sort of Mackin, Johnson, Beer, there's some pretty good bowlers there, isn't there, realistically, but look, and young Hardy there, there's like a 16-year-old kid as well who managed to chime in with a couple of wickets. So, look, pretty disappointing, but, I know the boys disappointed. I know Wayne was very, very disappointed, spoke to him today about it, but... Look, just have to put in another big week on the track, and we need to make sure we win the last 3 to be a good chance of playing in the finals. Yeah, definitely, mate. It's going to be very difficult now, though. We've sort of put ourselves in a pretty precarious position here with only 3 more games to go, with sitting in 10th place, I believe, IJ, which is way out of where we would have expected to be, which is pretty disappointing. But it seems to be the same thing every week lately, and it's the batting. And we can't keep leaving it to the tail end and Joel Charles without being funny. I mean, correct, I know he missed out in the last game, but Chelsea seems to be left at a fair bit lately at 6 for 60, and if it wasn't for Jared McPhee's 40, Gaz's 38, and look at the people we're talking about. Quelchie's 14, and obviously Chelsea's 32. Well, we'd be in more trouble than the early settlers, wouldn't we? Like I say, mate, the 100 and they end up with 126 for the last few wickets they put on there. So that just sort of goes to show. Look, and like I say, they laid a very good foundation. It's just very disappointing because it's quality players in Robbie Richards, sort of Jake Fawcett, Kyle and Christian. They're the sort of guys, they haven't really eked out a run between them. Yeah, have
exactly. They? No, so, I'm with you, and it's a bit of a concern coming into finals. But mate, I'm going to leave that there now. We're sitting in 10th, aren't we, mate? Correct, I don't want to go through any more of that.
Yeah, look, mate, we're sitting in 10th, and we're sort of 15 points out of the top 6, which I can't believe Scarborough's 6. But yeah. So look, like I say, Vernish, it's let's move on. I'm sure they have, and hopefully they get down the track and just realise that scratch it. Let's just get on with it and really, really push for the next 3 games.
Yep, and just have a very strong end to that season because, as I said, we're all right behind the boys, and we're looking forward to them turning it around. And as I said, they've probably just lost a little bit of confidence in the past couple of weeks. It's
not quite on Dave Kevin's bus down this way, is it?
All of
We're not quite at that stage yet, but
we're not taking shoelaces off anyone at the moment, but we will definitely hope for a better end of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
But, IJ, the best news story, I reckon, of the year, mate, just quietly. We were into these guys early. We were, weren't we, mate? We were very, very, very critical of the second grade.
Yep.
Not necessarily anything particular, but more than just the lack of effort, it seemed, and collapses, and it just seemed like they weren't really into it. I was wondering if any of them were even training at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And Noddy, to his credit, and to the other guys as well, because, as I said, it's a team effort, but what a fantastic turnaround by our twos.
Haven't they? Look, they seem to be the reverse fortune of the rest of the club, don't they? It's not too often we get to come in and say, hey, wicked, only the second's one, is it? But, look, I think to Noddy's credit, he has copped a lot of criticism, and I think that the game against Freo really installed a lot of confidence in the guys, and hopefully he can maintain this and continue on, Vern, because, look, they had an outstanding win at the weekend, Like I say, just to skittle them for 196 we managed to get them out for, and look, the boys sort of didn't, let's not say they made easy work of it. They ended up 8 for 199, but look, it's a great effort. Brunner there with 21. Jesse Budge there with his 42.
Another 40.
Yeah,
so
look,
that's
another
good
40.
News.
Yeah,
that's
so
good
it's
news.
still going all right, the big fella. So then, look, Moses with his 3. Young Matty Spores with didn't trouble the scorers. Young Ryan May, look, with his 8. But look, this guy, I think, Vern, we talked him up quite much last week, haven't we? I think he's slowly sliding his way into almost the Corey Rockatrolli stratosphere of how much we love him. So look, Bailey and Islander there with his 50, with his 59s, outstanding efforts, and Captain Courageous with his 22. Our South African import, Donovan Fry, didn't really do too much, but the Blonde Bombshell and your favourite man managed to get him.
The run machine.
Oh, look
Forget
at him go.
his wickets.
Hey, that's right, isn't it?
Forget his wickets.
Genuine all-rounder, David.
Hence why he was a Paul Lucas medalist last year,
Correct.
And by himself too. That's how good he is.
That's right. Yeah, didn't have his mate Bunny tagging along, did he? But look, an outstanding effort from those boys. They managed to end up, 8 for 199. So look, we just can't talk enough of these boys dig in and had a real crack. And look, I think Bailey and Islander there is another one, Vern. That's his second decent score in a row, isn't it? And so when we see him last week, he looked real good, and let's hope he can continue that form on. And you never know what's happening with the A grade. Maybe pushing towards a spot for the end of the year.
No, definitely, he's a gun. But I think the good news there, Brunner getting off to a start, Budgie still making runs, which is great news. You look at that, Moses, Spores, May, Maisie. I mean, he's a little bit older, but obviously, but the reality is, we look at the ages of some of these guys. Bailey Nylander, we've got all these guys coming through. Johnny Walter, he's already played ones this year. He's obviously been a bit up and down. Donny Fry, he started in ones, played a lot of ones at the start of the season, probably been a little bit up and down in the last few, which he'll want to consolidate. And the same with Quelchie. So it's really up to those batsmen. If you're looking at what the A grade are doing, obviously these boys are going to be putting on a bit of pressure there, and hopefully Budgie and that can next week go on with it and get those turn into 3 figures and really go to the selectors. We'll have a look. I'm here. I'm making runs. They're not, or which is good because it builds a lot of. We need competition for positions.
We've touched on bases. I mean, a lot of things we've talked about, let's be honest, over this time. But some of the smarter things we've talked about, we really like to see our guys in second grade really putting a lot of pressure on the A grade. So, look, a great win, great work, Noddy, and great work for the boys. Yeah, that, look, at the moment, mate, that rockets them up the ladder. So they're currently sitting 7th, Fern, and we were talking about them not even being a chance of finals a few weeks ago. And look, now they're sort of sitting 2 points outside. Midland there are 6th on 50, and then Claremont Nedlands 5th on 57. So look, they just need a couple of good results for them. Like I say, if they can continue their winning way, mate, they'll be able to play finals, which would be something we wouldn't have said 6 or 8 weeks ago.
Definitely wouldn't have. Well done, Noddy, and well done to the boys in the twos there, because it has been a tough year for them at the start, and as I said, they're really coming good now. There's no reason why they can't get those last 3 as wins, and all of a sudden they're rocketing right into the finals, and maybe going the opposite way to where a few others are going, at the moment, which is excellent news. So well done, boys. All right, IJ, now the threes, mate. So
normally when we read out this, we're very confident and we're always talking up how they went and Cam Mack and the boys. But look, they had a real red hot dip in this one. It's sort of fairly unfortunate that say Williston scored 261 in the first week, and look, we managed to fall just short there when we made 237. So a little bit disappointing. But look, they had a decent crack, and probably they had one of their guys, O'Neill, got 132 for them. So he was probably the difference between them, especially when we got Aaron Summers bowling there with his 7 for 64. So, but look, Hayden Sladecki, he ended up with his 47. Gregory Mayo, he was out last week with his 5. Alfie Peters there with his 38. Alex Burton, which is probably good to see him back there. Vern as well with his 41. So, hopefully he's turning it around at the right time of year. The younger Atkinson and Graham there, unfortunately with his 1. Cam Mack, unfortunately, didn't trouble the scorers. Braden Quinn there with 38, which is really good to see. Josh Smith there, great young fella there. Unfortunately, only with his 4. Scotty Pearson with 12. Aaron Summers with 28, and older Ian Estel with his 16 not out, the young fiery fast bowler. So look, a little bit disappointing, 237 there, but look, they've had a decent crack at it, and just let's think it's the one that they had to lose or something like that, don't you say now, Vern?
No, definitely, mate. The only thing I would be a little concerned with, you have a look at those scores, all the starts. If one of those guys bats through and does exactly what that young O'Neill did for Willerton, all of a sudden, mate, you're straight past 261 pretty comfortably, just quietly. I mean, if he. And look at that. Slods makes another 47. He makes a lot of those scores. He's got to, go on with a couple of those. And then obviously Peters has got a good start, 38. Birdo's got a good start, 41. We're talking about good batsmen here. You know what I mean?
Say 3 for 113, 4 for 125, 5 for 122, 6 for 137. tops, that's your middle order. And look, no offence, sort of, Graham Atkinson's a very senior player and a very good player, him, and Cam Max actually had a very good year. A bit disappointed to see one and none there from sort of 5 and 6, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, Vern. Maybe, this is probably where some of these younger players, I mean, Alex Burton's, we wouldn't call him a young player, wouldn't he? He's a fairly experienced player, former A-grade player. Like I say, you'd hope that, some of these guys have got to understand if they actually do the hard work and get to them, you've really got to concentrate. This is,
it's so frustrating to get out there.
Telling us is, if you've done the hard work, then you should be concentrating more then to really cash in.
Exactly.
So, but hey, hopefully it's a bit of a learning curve for them, and they'll maintain their. Well, like I say, they're still sitting on top of the ladder at the end of the day, Vern. So look, he's still going all right, aren't they?
Oh, mate, as I said, that's the reality of it. I mean, they should have won. I mean, they really should have won that, and they'd know that. And guess what? It might be just the little chip off the shoulder knocked off. And next week, I pity the side playing them next week because obviously the boys are going to be pretty keen to get out there and get a win.
Yeah, well, they're playing fifth place Perth next week. So look, hopefully I reckon you're right there. I reckon they'll get, they get the bit between their teeth and get on with it, And
is that Corey Wisson batting there in threes there? Because if that's Corey Wisson, he played a lot of A grade, didn't he? He played.
I did notice that. So,
Did he? Who did he play for? Rocky Amandra?
He did play for them.
I'm positive he did. If that's certainly Corey Wisson, because
good to see him going all right there with his duck.
With his duck. Well, Summers did only take 7 for 64. That must be noted as well.
Like I say, it's probably not really need. Like I say, he'd be almost. He'd be younger. He'd be younger than us. Well, he'd be around your age.
My age, I think.
Yeah. Like I say, maybe hasn't had a game for a while. Then you get it coming in your face, Aaron Summers. Probably not what you need, is it?
Well, a young kid that will play a lot of A grade cricket and who is quite quick. So it would have been interesting.
Although, pretty interesting. We'll get to him in the Colts. So had a bit of an indifferent day in the Colts.
Oh, did he? Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. All right, mate, we'll go to the fours now and we'll have a look at that. And then what we'll do, guys, just so everyone knows, you're on the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show. But in just a few moments, we'll after the fours, we'll go to an ad. And then when we get back, we'll have the assistant coach, Adam Griffith of the Warriors and Scorchers fame on the line. So, IJ, if you go through those fours for us there, mate.
Once again, Vern, like it seems to be a bit of a thing for tonight. Very, very disappointing result from the Force. It's quite a fiery game from all accounts.
Really?
Yeah, I actually spoke to a Dragons a member who's normally playing in Mitchell Inglis, and this morning we have we worked together, so a bit of a chat, and he reckons there was a fair bit going on out there and probably just a little bit unfortunate that the boys ended up on the wrong side of it there. Look, we did get scheduled for 160 and they were 1 for 60 overnight. So, look, we were sort of always fighting. But, look, the boys have gone out there and had a real red-hot dip and managed to schedule them for 196 in quite a fiery affair. Carney did his pinger there, unfortunately, as well.
Has he?
The news. He actually touched it up a little bit on Thursday night and probably thought he was okay, probably because I was trying to help him bowl. That's what he probably thought. Anything to shut me up. So the poor fella. So he bowled his 8 overs, none for 44. Braden Myers with his 29 overs there, 12 maidens, 4 for 67 there, Vern. So that's a very good effort.
Well done, Brado.
Yeah, a little man, Jimmy Nicalo there, 14 overs, none for 12. Aiden, the enforcer, Fawcett here, the pick of the bowlers, with his 18 overs, 7 maidens, 6 for 37.
Oh, my God. How good's that?
Like I say, Ado's had a very, very big day out and, sort of getting a few wickets, telling a few people what he thought of him and all that. So it was, good on him, He's obviously goes all right, old Aiden, doesn't he, So
who would argue with him, mate? Let's be really smart about this. You pick your fights, don't you?
I know I wouldn't. So
nah.
yeah, but like I say,
I wouldn't have picked a fight with him when he was 13.
No, true.
Yeah.
True, but we're not right into our fighting, are we? And so Connor Lynch bowled 1 over, 1 maiden. Don't know what happened there. And Bondi bowled his 6 overs, number 24. But pretty disappointing because then unfortunately went back out and had a bit of another crack at it. And a couple of the boys had to peel off early for various reasons. So we were actually a couple of players short. But we ended up at 6 for 36 in the second dig, which would probably frustrate Joel a bit. They're one of those times when the bloke should be thinking, getting in there and sort of cashing in a little bit, maybe getting a few
Not
runs.
Even a 2 and over either, mate. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, isn't it? Like I say, sort of Carlo with 8, Bondi with none, and Kingy 7, Lloyd Quinlan with none, Hawley there with 9, and Braden there with his 5 not out, and Matty Force at 1. So look, like I say, doesn't make very, very good reading, and there's something that's a bit different too, Vern. We've been used to saying that they're on top. They're actually slid down to second on the ladder now, the Fours. The old Basie old boys, they're in the Force. They've managed to sneak up a couple of points ahead of us on top. So yeah, look, bit of a dark day for the boys. I'm sure that Carney would have been a very frustrated man with his pinger done on Saturday night, but he sold his house, so he's probably happy about that.
I reckon he would, mate. He's off to Mullaloo, isn't he? Moneybags.
Yeah, all the rich folks live around that way, mate, I heard.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting. As I said, Oh yeah, well he's out of the Wanneroo though. Paul, he's left just like I have.
Mate, like I say, all the good people go there, for forever, however long, some of us longer than others. But like good to see. But like I say, pretty disappointing result there for the Fours again. So pretty much hasn't been some great reading there, Vern. It's okay though. We know that we've got a couple more results to read out, but looking forward to having a bit of a chat with Griff soon.
No, definitely, mate, definitely. All right, guys. Well, you're listening to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sports variety. 91.3 Sport FM. When we get back, guys, we'll have our interview for tonight, our Northside residential interview, which is none other than the Warriors and the Scorchers assistant coach, Adam Griffith. Back in just a few moments.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, getting it right and on time. Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood, contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns, contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
Car won't start, battery not charging, red light on the dash. Backed by our team of expert auto electricians, Deering Autronics will diagnose and fix your problem with the professionalism and skills expected from the best in the business. We stock an extensive range of batteries, alternators and starter motors. Air conditioning not performing as it should? We'll get your car, truck or four-wheel drive's air conditioner running icy cold again in no time.
Deering Autronics, Jandakot, Midland and Cudale. Station sponsor.
Change the way you buy your next cricket bat. Just like the professionals, go directly to Bradbury, the internationally awarded bat maker right here in Perth. Browse through the shop or have a custom crafted blade created to suit your needs. Suitable for all cricketers, all ages, levels and budgets. The Bradbury standard of creative, innovative design and dedicated workmanship is behind every bat they make. Come and see Paul and Sally now at 7A Forsyth Street, O'Connor, or you can order your kit online at bradburycricket.com. Sport FM sponsor.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood. Contact Andrew Amos today. Jets Wanneroo, 24-hour fitness, workout on your terms. Harden Eastern Conti, accounting, taxation, finance and business planning. Contact Murray McGee. Subway Madeley, located in the Kingsway Shopping Complex, and Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, WA-owned electrical contracting company specialising in the HVAC industry. Contact Darren Thorne, station sponsor.
And welcome back to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now, on the line, we've got our special guest tonight, none other than the current Western Warriors assistant coach, also the assistant coach of the Scorchers as well, and does a lot of work also with the academy kids up in Brisbane with the Australian boys, the younger guys. Adam Griffith. Griffo, you there, mate?
I'm there, boys. How are we going?
Mate, we're very well, mate, and we love hearing you on this show, mate. You're a good friend of this show, mate.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of times now.
Mate, we thought it'd be a good idea to get you on tonight because, obviously Wanneroo didn't have a great week on the on the field, so we thought we'd give you a call, mate, because you've had a much more positive week with the Scorchers, mate. How good was that? That was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, it was. The boys played exceptionally well over in Canberra. It was obviously a little bit disappointing it wasn't over here in Perth, but we understand the reasons behind that. And the boys were really good. Got a little bit tight towards the end there, but happy to get over the line.
Hey, Griff, Percy, mate, how you going?
Good, thanks, Perth.
Hey, mate, tell me, I didn't get to see you on the TV. What do you do? Do you hide in that last over somewhere on that ground, were you? Or?
No, I don't sit down on the bench. I actually sit up in the coach's box. I like to be able to see the whole ground and get a feel for the game from up there. And if there's anything we need to, sort of talk to the boys about during the game, it's just better for me up the top there. So I don't normally get on the TV, which is not a bad thing. There's plenty of people in the dugout that are trying to get on there, so I'm happy to sneak up the top behind the seat.
Good stuff, mate. Mate, the last couple of years, I mean, you're into this is your fourth season now? Fourth season here in WA. Mate, you've gone through a plethora of coaches while this has been going on as well, and you've seen a few come and go and different ideas and everything like that. Mate, what's made this, this setup with yourself and JL so much better than the others?
Oh, look, I think it all starts with the leadership at the WAC. I think Christina Matthews, the CEO, has come in and done an outstanding job of refocusing us on cricket and on actually giving us what we need to help the boys perform well on the field. And Ben Oliver, as the operations manager of the cricket department, I think those two have really, as I said, refocused things and show great leadership and from what we do there. And obviously JL coming in, giving the boys that hardness and toughness and no-nonsense approach that, seems to be working with the young kids that we've developed from here has been a big factor in it also.
Mate, also, just touching on that, do you think that Brett Jones is going to be quite a big loss for you guys heading off to the Maroons?
Yeah, look, he's off to the Bulls. He's going to take over their cricket operations manager role, so he'll be a loss for us. He was very good in his role as a talent manager and very professional in what he did. And obviously, we're starting to develop some good young kids here. But no, I wish him all the best up there, and he'll do a great job in a managerial role up there.
Mate, we've talked about previously over a couple of Powerades about the effect that as you referred to him, the Matadorf, Jason Berendorf's had this year. He has been unbelievable, mate. He is an unbelievable talent. And, maybe it just took him a little bit longer, but have you had a lot of one-on-one work with him, mate? Because the transformation in him's been absolutely stunning.
Yeah, look, Dorf's one of the most professional guys we've got at the WAC. He does everything he possibly can, leaves no stone unturned to get his body right and his mind right, ready to go. And I think the big thing, it's a great example for all the young guys out there that, his body wasn't quite where it needed to be a few years ago, and he would get injured a fair bit. But his tireless work in the gym, in particular, I think, to get himself stronger has been outstanding. And we saw a couple of seasons ago, when we finished off at the end of the season, he had 1 week off, then he was back into the gym. And I think that work ethic is what's held him in good stead. And we've done a little bit of stuff with him, and technically and mentally with him as well, just to get himself where he needs to be. But his work ethic's what's got him to where it is today, and I've got no doubt that he's got a bright future within not just WA cricket but for Australia as well.
Mate, just you're leading in now to just the 4-day cricket to finish the season off. You've already picked up the Matador, you've picked up the BBL, mate. What are your chances for the three-peat, to use an Americanism?
Yeah, look, never been done before, and it's something that's a real opportunity for us. And it's something that it's not a big focus at the moment, but we know it's there, and we made the Shield final last year, and very similar group this year, but with a bit more experience, and just sitting at second on the ladder at the moment. So it's a big 5 games for us, and we'll give ourselves every opportunity to do that. And we've got to make sure we get everyone fit and firing and ready to go on the park, and give them a bit of time just to get themselves refreshed and ready to execute again. We've got a game at home first, and we've got 3 away games, so that'll be a really telling period for us while we're over interstate. To get some points from those games and keep us up in that top 2, and hopefully finish first and host the final. We all know how important it is to get that home final.
Mate, just on that, Wednesday night, you guys obviously would have maybe gone out to dinner or something after the big game, and did you give the boys a few extra days off when they got back here before they will get back into the training again, or?
Well, they were back in today.
Yep.
So they had their day on Friday together as a team, and then yesterday they had a fan day where they all got together again. But we had them in this morning to training and ran them pretty hard just to flush a bit of pizza out of their system and whatever else. And they were actually really good today. They were all up and about, and they were all looking forward to training today. And then we'll have 3 really good sessions Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading into the game on Saturday.
Mate, it's a complete momentum shift, obviously, with going back from 20 overs to obviously, going back to the longer form of the game. How seriously do you take form in the short form to go towards playing the first-class form of cricket? Because there are some guys that have been performing quite well in the 2020, obviously, but does that transpire to selection into the first class? Because I know it could be a bit of a tricky sort of thing. Yeah,
it can be tricky, but I think there's 2 major things that I always look at when it comes to that. And and if you're up and about and winning and got great confidence, well, then that's a big thing in any form of the game. If you're confident up and about, and what we try and keep our skills pretty basic. in 2020 as well. And if you're performing and executing your skills 2020 under those sort of pressures, there's no reason why you can't do that at 4-day. Obviously, the time frames are different, and we need to make sure physically they can get through the 4 days. But I think if their confidence is up and they're performing their basic skills really, really well, you can take a little bit out of that to 4-day cricket, definitely.
Mate, just on that, it seems to me, being a bit of a mug who's not got really much idea about cricket, that we're the only team over here that seems to actually try and be defensive or has a bit more of a defensive mindset in the game rather than just trying to go all out and attack. Would I be off the mark there?
No, you're spot on. I mean, you've got to have the cattle to do it as well, and our bowling attack, as we've seen, is able to execute that. And we have a big push to make sure that it doesn't matter how many you've got, you can defend it, because if you can't quite get the runs, and there's no reason why they can't either. So we have a mindset, but it's more of a confidence thing that once you do it once or twice, and then the boys get confidence in them being able to do it, and then a couple more times the other team gets a bit worried as well because they know we can do it. So it's not a conscious thing you go into planning. We'd much rather have 180 on the board every game. But unfortunately sometimes that doesn't happen, and we know that we're in the game no matter what the situation. And I think we kept teams under 100 a couple of times this year, which is a great effort from our fielding and bowling unit.
Mate, how much of an important acquisition was it to get Maxi Klinger in this year? He's been, when he was in Victoria, I think he was a bit of hit or miss. He didn't make a lot of runs. He was sort of mixed up the order a fair bit. Went to South Australia, made his name as an opener, made a double century in probably about, I'd say something like 10 or 11 hundreds for South Australia. His acquisition must be great for the rest of the boys and give a bit more confidence to Voges to Adam, obviously, losing Northie last year.
Oh, it's been outstanding. As I've said quite a few times, we're still pinching ourselves on how that happened. He still had another year to go on contract in South Australia. So for them to let him go and for us to get him over here, he's rejuvenated, he's refreshed, he's loving his cricket. His family's loving being over here, and it shows in the way he trains, and he's a very professional player. Joe calls him the Matty Prittis of our team.
The Matty Prittis.
Yeah, just no nonsense.
It's not for his hair either, is it?
He hasn't quite got the haircut, but he's very, very professional what he does, and he makes runs. And he makes runs when the game's on the line. He just doesn't make them when there's nothing on play. So. Great to have him. We're so happy that he's here, and he's been great for Vogie as well. That senior player just bounce ideas off, and he's been a captain plenty of times in his career as well. And hopefully we'll have him around for years to come. He's fit, he's firing, and I can't see him pulling the pin anytime soon.
Mate, just on the some of the players that are sort of just outside of the squad on the fringe, we had from Wanneroo this year. We had 5 guys that actually turned up to do the pre-season out with the guys. Of all the guys that you know from Wanneroo, are there any of them that you think or think that might be a very good chance of maybe playing first-class cricket again, or for the first time in the future?
Yeah, look, I think the young guys you've got up there, there's some exciting talent there. Christian Smith's done a little bit of stuff for us in the keeper batsman stakes. You got a couple of good young quicks up there as well that I think could push on in the future, and obviously Johnny Rogers up there as well is in the squad at the moment. So we're just hoping that those guys can come on, and like we've seen with AJ Ty, it doesn't matter. If you haven't been looked at in the past and haven't played underage cricket for your state, if you've got that desire and drive to get there, then if you can work hard, you can make it, because it's you will get the opportunities. It's one thing that Joe is very big on, is that if you're performing, you'll get an opportunity. So that's what we're looking for from everyone in grade cricket.
I'll tell you, that's the thing, Griff. I think that's the most refreshing thing about this whole system now. And I think we look back and when Tom Moody was coach, and there was a lot of guys getting picked up. You had Marty Pascal, you had Hogan. Obviously, Hogan's been a great bowler, but like you had Trent Kelly come over from South Australia. You've had all these bowlers sort of get shipped in from other states, and it just never quite worked, and they never quite gelled. And then even previous to that, they had Steve McGoffin. He was a great bowler, but he was here, and Benny Edmondson and a few others. But mate, has it been a really big shift in your squad management and everything like that to make sure that you are trying to hone their skills and grow some of these guys with a bit of ability?
Yeah, it's interesting, because when I first got here, one of the main reasons they got a bowling coach in was that they were importing their bowlers. I think Nofke was another one that came across as well. So they were importing a lot of bowlers, and the word was that they didn't have any over here. There wasn't any talent, but within a short period of time of being here, I saw that it was there. There was plenty of talent out in underage cricket and senior bowlers as well in grade cricket that just weren't being developed. So we've had a real focus, and it does take time, as we talked about before with Dorf and Jolie Parris and Nathan Coulter-Nile, Dixon, just to name a few, Duffield. There's all these local guys who it takes time to develop them and takes time for their bodies to get right to bowl fast, and we just don't want them fit to play. We want them actually fit to perform and fit to win games for us. So it's taking a little bit of time, but there's plenty of guys there now that are showing that they're putting their hand up to play first-class cricket for WA, and then there's another exciting batch, just coming through now in the Dave Moody's and Jai Richardson, and there's a few others floating around as well that we're really excited about. Again, they'll need a couple of years to develop, but we've shown that the programs we're using at the moment are tending to work, so we'll keep those guys ticking along to hopefully get them to play first-class cricket for WA as well.
Definitely, Griff. Now, if you just tuned in, we've got Adam Griffith here on the line on the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show here, the assistant coach of the Warriors and the Scourgers. Now, Griff, another one, quick question going back to it. Your move over here, it was a big move to make, getting a little bit more personal. Mate, you had a great career with Tassie.
Don't get too personal, mate.
No, I'm smarter than that, mate. I'm smarter than that. But, mate, it was obviously a massive move for you. You finished playing, a few years ago after winning a Shield, obviously, with the first ever Tasmanian Sheffield Shield, which would have been a massive, massive thing. But as I said, it's been a massive move for you. How are you finding WA, mate? I know you've settled in quite well.
Yeah, loving it. It was obvious. Yeah, as you say, it was a quick move too. I was sitting home in Tassie wondering if I was going to keep going and heading overseas to play a little bit of cricket, and I got a phone call on a Monday, and the following Monday I had the job. So I was literally relocating in 2 weeks. So it was a bit daunting and a bit nervous. It was my first job as a coach full time and things like that. So not knowing what to expect, and as you mentioned before, we had a few changes in coaching staff pretty quickly when I've arrived, so I wondered what I got myself into at one stage there. But
welcome to WA,
yeah, it's panned out beautifully. And I absolutely love living in Perth and love the group and love the culture over here is changing beautifully, and it's a beautiful place to be. And even though it's a little bit away from the eastern states, I actually like that. I like the fact that it is a bit away, and we can do our own thing over here, and we've shown that now that seems to be working. So it's a great place to be. I love living in Perth and settled in nicely now.
Mate, you could almost get a job for the Tourism Council the way you're going there. Hey, mate, just...
any little sideys are all right.
Speaking of that, mate, were you up early this morning, mate, to watch one Tom Brady throw his way to his fourth?
Yes, I definitely was, mate. I was very excited about that. I'm a big NFL man, as you know.
Yeah.
So I did get up. I watched a bit of the pre-game stuff as well, and it was one of the more exciting finishes. That I've seen for a while. And I think it's something that, in all seriousness, I think American sport. I think it is obviously a lot about the bravado and a lot about the carry-on, and there's a lot of stuff that goes to it, but I do think there are certain things we can take away from it that they do really well that we can try and add to our programs here in regards to their professionalism and how they go about things. So
someone like LeBron James, mate, you like his professionalism as well?
Yeah, we wouldn't mind him over here. I reckon he could play. Yeah. He's 6'8". I reckon he could bowl.
That's right. He'd be a bit of gas, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So I was excited this morning. I did get up and watch that, and luckily I didn't have to get into work till lunchtime today because we had our meetings and stuff this afternoon. So it was good.
Well, mate, just to end on a good note, mate. We all know that you're a massive Dons fan, mate. Mighty Essendon. Now, mate, you've got a big season coming up, and we don't normally digress into the footy, even though we love it as well. Yeah. Mate, you're feeling pretty confident, mate, with Cooney coming across?
Well, yeah, hopefully he's got a few mates to play with. That's probably the only thing at this stage. But, looking forward to another footy season. I'm not going... I missed the first half last year going over to Middlesex, so looking forward to it. I'll hopefully get back over to Anzac Day this year and check all that out and, watch some footy and just sit back and relax in the off-season for a little while. Are
you still looking at going maybe back over to Middlesex, mate, in our winter this year?
Yeah, not sure yet. I haven't really looked at that. It's been a pretty busy period for us here, so, we'll see how that all pans out. we'll make a decision on that as we go forwards. But to be fair, I haven't really thought of that much.
I bet you haven't.
Couple of months because we've had a bit happening. So when we get a couple of days downtime, we might have a look at that. Yeah.
Like I say, mate, the Royal has actually lost a little bit of money lately.
Lovely food there. Lovely food.
Right. Beautiful place, the Royal.
You always down there for dinner,
aren't you? Yeah.
Being a man who hates cooking like you do.
Yeah. Good place to be. Maybe a little free pizza next time we're in there every night.
Yeah, that would be nice. Mate, it's been great speaking to you tonight, and we really appreciate it, mate. It's not very often we get the opportunity to speak to, one of the WACA coaches, and obviously a man who's had so much to do with our very own Mitchell Johnson as well, and all the rest of the bowlers, and such a magnificent turnaround, mate, in 4 years. And what you've done is an absolute credit, mate, because you've been there through all of it and everything you've tried, and I obviously know a bit closer quarters, how much effort you've put into it. But, mate, it's been a magnificent resurgence, mate, and a lot of credit's got to go to you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, it's always good to get back into the great lands, mate, and have a chat with the great people. It's a very important part of what we do, and if we didn't have great cricket, we wouldn't have first-class cricket, so it's always good to be on, mate.
Excellent, mate. Well, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, Griff, thanks, mate, and congratulations again, mate, on the back-to-back BBL champions.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's hope we can get all three now, mate.
Excellent, mate. Good luck, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Bye, mate.
Yeah, look, isn't he very well spoken, man? And I think you touched it just on there a bit, Vern, though, isn't he? Ever since he's been over here, the bowling stocks, the WA born and bred bowling stocks have sort of come up. I think that's part of what they had in Tasmania, how they did it. They seemed to grow their own players and groom them, have a bit of a go. And it's just really good to see that him, now that obviously he went through Mickey Arthurs and then Lockie Stevens and now with JL, they've actually managed to just keep these guys together. And as you said, touched on a few of those big names there that are now playing for WA. It's just good to see, and a great fella to boot is Griff.
And he always gives honest answers with it. I mean, not because he's a good mate of ours, but he does give honest answers with those questions. Because as I said, not many people get an insight into exactly the goings-on of the inner circle, obviously, within the WACA and what happens with selection and everything like that. And it was really good just to speak to him, just so some of our listeners could, actually hear what he's got to say, because there might be 3 or 4 out there in Radio Land that would have enjoyed it.
Just because, like you say, Vern, he's probably, a couple of times when you've caught up with him after the gym, etc., sharing a Powerade or 2 with him, know, and obviously he shares a lot more, in a closer circle stuff. But yeah, it's just really good for the listeners out there to get a bit of an insight into a great man that he is.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go to a quick break from our all-important station sponsors here on Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show. And when we get back, we'll go through the rest of the results, obviously with the Colties, and talk about the events coming up, including our quiz night this weekend. Back in just a few moments.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Urtec Holdings, getting it right and on time. Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood, contact Andrew Amos today. Sunwise Outdoor Living, for all your patio, gazebo and alfresco needs, contact Rob Fairchild. MTM Physiotherapy, specialising in sports injuries, located in Duncraig. And Stella Premium Services, gardens, parks and lawns, contact Cliff Astall today. Station sponsor.
Need new gates or fences? Then contact Tech Gate and Fence. Whether it be garden gates, driveway gates, fence panels, pool or security fencing, station sponsor Tech Gate and Fence have it covered with a large range of galvanised steel gates and fences. View the range online at their website, tekgates.com.au, and see their display at Homebase Subiaco. Get your obligation-free quote from Tech Gates and Fence today. Call Mike on 0439 837 885 or visit techgates.com.au.
Warnie's Ball of the Century. Game changer. Herschel Gibbs dropping the World Cup. Game changer. Clarkie's iffy hammy. Game changer. And what do all these game changers have in common? They only happen live during a game. So when you see a game-changing moment at the Cricket World Cup, make the most of it with a live game-changing bet at the TAB. Call 1300-BET-LIVE or visit your nearest TAB. Gamble responsibly.
Station sponsor.
The Wanneroo District Cricket Club would like to thank its 2014-15 sponsor group, including Northside Residential, offices in Joondalup and Greenwood. Contact Andrew Amos today. Jets Wanneroo, 24-hour fitness, work out on your terms. Harden Eastern Conti. Accounting, taxation, finance and business planning, contact Murray McGee. Subway Madeley, located in the Kingsway Shopping Complex, and Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, WA-owned electrical contracting company specialising in the HVAC industry. Contact Darren Thorne, station sponsor.
And welcome back to Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show on your home of sport in the community, 91.3 Sport FM. Now, we just had a fantastic interview there for our Northside residential interview for the evening with none other than the assistant coach of the Warriors and the Scorchers, Adam Griffith. But now we're back to Wanneroo stuff and getting back into the results of the weekend. We have some excellent results there. We've obviously got the Colts coming up. We also had the 17s and 15s. So, IJ, if you don't mind, mate, can you please take us through exactly what happened with the Colties first?
Yeah, look, Vern, I think we're pretty unlucky here in this game, unfortunately. Look, we got a very good team and coming up against a very good team in Bayswater Morley there for the semi-finals of the Colts competition. And look, the boys unfortunately fell short there. We batted first and we only managed to get 189 there with Alex Burton continuing his good form with his 35. Bailey Ninelander unfortunately failed for the first time in a while with the 9. Christian Smith there with his 40. Brendan Murray with his 4. Moses there with his 31. Young Jared McPhee there with his 33, continuing on his good form. Cam Mack there with a 4. Quinny there with his 1. Aaron Summers with his 2. Adam Samaja Smith with his 1. And Josh Quelch with his 9. So look, a little bit disappointing there, 189. So obviously it was enough. The Bayswater boys, they managed to peel that off in the 47th over there. You're right over there, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Knocking my headphones off.
So you think they'd be stretching. Anyway, look, like I say with the bowling, as we touched on a little bit earlier, Vern, poor old Aaron Summers there bowled 3 overs, none for 27, and actually got told he wasn't allowed to bowl anymore because he unfortunately, a couple of them had slipped out and gone over the waist-high fullies. He bowled, I think, 2 early, and then he just managed to slip the last one go, and the old umpire said, "That's it, son, you're off, no more bowling." So it's a bit unfortunate for him. Brendan Murray there bowled his 10 overs, 1 for 24. Adam Smudger Smith, 10 overs, 1 for 28. So some very good bowling by those boys. Quinny, unfortunately, not as good. 4 overs there, none for 25. Josh Quelch, was a wily old fella in Colts, I suppose, isn't he? With his 10 overs, 1 for 30. Moses there with his 7 overs, 1 for 37. Bailey Nylander, 2.1 for 14. And Christian Smith, for some reason, bowled on over there. So, yeah, look, a pretty disappointing result. A very good team there. And, got beaten by the Basie boys, who obviously played a lot better on the day.
And Josh Philippi in that side as well. I'm surprised not to see a certain Mulder as well, who would normally be playing in that side as well.
Yeah, look...
Josh Philippi obviously played for us for all his juniors until this season, didn't he?
So did Lewis as well, didn't he?
Yep.
He left us as well. Yeah, but look, like I say, that Todd as well, he's obviously playing A-grade as well at the moment, so he got there.
Wild, his brother played obviously for us as well, so... Yeah, quite a bit of a Wanneroo flavour there.
Yeah, look, they do border us at some stage there, don't they? Up towards the east. But look, pretty disappointing. Kingy obviously would have been very disappointed. Puts a lot of time and effort into those boys, and him and Christian. Like I'm saying, Christian's very, very, very good captain. Probably, just a bit unlucky. Obviously, I didn't get down there unfortunately, but it just looks like they didn't get enough runs, really, doesn't it?
So they're gone.
That's it. Done and dusted. Out, semi-final, knocked out.
Pretty disappointing, 4-0, and then to go out in straight sets, straight away. So, all right.
Yeah, well, they were 4-1 they were, because they did drop
that's
one
right.
once. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so, look, but a bit disappointing, so, unfortunately, to the boys. Made the semi, but, look, with that team, they probably should have went on and snuck into the final, one would have thought.
Exactly. All right, we'll go on to, off that bad news. Geez, I can't wait for this show this week. It's been really great fun, hasn't it, mate, with all these results.
Mate, but coming into 2 outstanding results from the juniors, to the very, very...
Tell me about the under-17s.
Very, very well coached Brendan Danaher's under-17s there, captained by none other than Corey Rockacholi. Look, first week playing against the Drags, there we managed to skittle them for 126 with the pick of the bowlers being the one and only Corey Rockacholi with his 3 for there, and Dylan Banks also with the other 3 wickets. But look, we were none for 6 overnight, and we ended up at 7 for 218 after our allotted overs there with Vorney Quinlan there, for his first 50 of the year. Well played, young fellow. Look, a great bat, a really good kid. Good to see a good lefty there getting some runs. Young Matty Purcell with his 18. Josh Cameron, who normally makes runs for fun, decided not to bother this week and didn't get any. Damon Parker there with his 9. Bit unfortunate he was. Lockie McLean, welcome back to form there. Probably opened and probably hadn't had the best of years, and Sort of slid him down there, batting him at 5 and ended up there with 65, a very, very well compiled. Corey Roccatrolli went out there and pogoed a few round for his 30, which is a very good effort there. Braden Hudson with his 4, Kurt Monaghan with his 14, and Dylan Banks with his 6. So look, 7 for 218, an outstanding effort. And the boys now sit 12 points clear on top of the ladder. So a great effort. Brendan Danaher too, mate, throwing up, sending me text messages, which I didn't get till about 9:30, saying he's going to be late, but was Crook still turned up. That's the sort of fella that he is.
Great bloke.
The nicest bloke at that club.
Nicest bloke in cricket, I reckon, just about.
Just period.
Yeah. He's a great man.
Isn't he? So, yeah, but look, a great effort from them boys as they continue on their winning way.
Excellent stuff with the boys. Good stuff, and it looks good for next season for those guys too. Because as I said, if we can go through and get another junior premiership, that'll be really good. Because we haven't had we haven't had as much luck as what we have had in the past over the past few years.
And there's a lot of them hanging up at the club there, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, speaking of good chances here, the under-15s very well coached by one Darren Thorne there. Look, they had an outstanding effort. They managed to skill him for 100. Oh, sorry, and Jimmy DeCarlo, and they managed to.
Don't forget that.
Oh, never would. He'll never let me let it down. The bloke that likes different interesting things. We managed to skill that for 132. And look, like I say, an outstanding effort. The boys ended up 6 for 300. They're only actually one down when they passed that score, mate. Young Emil Vandermeer. Now, here's a bit of a different story for you, Vern. Emil, an outstanding player. Come off as batting away, and one scoreboard's got him as 100, one's got him as 97. And the scorebook's they're like, oh, what's going on here? So unfortunately, he got out. They're like, oh man, unlucky we're batted. But they've gone through and re-added up score again. Got 100. So poor fella didn't get to give the old wave the bat to the crowd and get all cheered on there. Yeah, so made his first 100 for the club and unfortunately found out about it after he'd actually done it. So yeah, a little bit disappointing there.
But you'd rather that than 97, wouldn't you?
Correct. Still take it. That's right. And look, Petey Pearson back to a bit of form there with his 23 opening up there, which is a good effort. Our man Benny Doolan there with his 21. Kai Whitehurst with his 68. Connor Thorne with his 18. Tristan Hobley there with his 31. And old Dutchy Holland there and Padaramamba, that's him. He got his one. But Bailey Richards, just have to have a little shout out to young Bailey. I was actually having a Powerade with his mother and father, and because he plays a bit in the local competition, and apparently his dad ran him out a drink and gave him a cuddle and a kiss on the field there for young Bailey. So it's just like I say, just making his kid nice and happy to be out there on the game, isn't he? So
it's a little bit different. I reckon if Dad had done that, it would have knocked him out.
That's just unfortunately been part of the Green family.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Well, yeah, it is.
Whatever floats your boat.
Hey, look, as long as Bailey's happy, Well,
he's obviously pretty happy. He's getting kisses and cuddles everywhere.
Yeah, but Jason's just decided to run out and do that for some different reason, and hey, he copped a few dollars in fine, so he's paying that for him. So yeah, so Bailey, good to see that you're not afraid of your father's affection on a cricket field too, mate. You're obviously a real man. You don't care what other kids think.
He's a man who's in control of his emotions, obviously, and he knows himself what he's all about, and he's more than happy to do that. And good luck to him,
mate. We love it. We love any kid that's like that. Yeah. So anyway, enough about poor old Bailey who gets to hear all that about himself. Look, those boys, the boys in the 15s now are currently sitting 7th. They're 5 points out of the 6. So look, if they manage to sneak another couple of wins in, hopefully they should be in finals. Look, they're a very good team and they should play finals. If they don't, I think it's a bit of it'd be a bit of a travesty.
I like that. All right, IJ. Now, mate, we've got a big weekend at the club this weekend, obviously. We've gone on about it last week as well. It's a big night for the club. Yep. The quiz night for the year, and obviously it's always a sellout. It's always packed, and it's
correct,
and a really good night. Tell me a bit more about it, mate. Saturday night.
Saturday night, mate, yeah. So the 7th, mate, it's on there, around the 7th, aiming for a 7:30 start. Look, they've already pre-booked 10 tables. So like I say, yeah, you might want to get in there fairly quick and make sure you get, so you get a good seat. The other thing is any of the players or parents, if they can try and get their work to maybe donate a few little prizes, some drink bottles, anything else they can think of, just so we can have a few extra prizes. Yep. If they could get them down to the club either on Thursday night or Saturday morning, that'd be great. And just to see Lee Miller if they've got any crews and that. But yeah, look, should be a really good night. Warren the Almanac Beckwith will be running it, and he'll be doing a great job as he has done over previous years with a few different things. We're actually having a bit of a chat to him, not trying to bring this back up again, Vern, but at the Vets game the other week. So look, he said there'll be a few good rounds, and it won't all be about sport. It'll be quite a good mixture of variety, a bit of music in there, a bit of current affair type stuff and things like that. So
exciting.
Yeah, should be a really good night. $10 a ticket. Otherwise, there's tables of 8. Otherwise, if you pre-book your table for $100, and you also everyone gets a drink, so you're already ahead, and a platter of food. So look, like saying, if they're one of them, just jump on our Facebook or our webpage on the club and you'll be able to find Joe Force's number there to give her a call.
Well, you've got all the details there, guys. So as I said, get on board and support it because it's our club, and we want to make sure these nights are successful because a lot of people go to a lot of effort to get them all up here and going. And as I said, it should be a good night. And even if you don't want to do the quiz, doesn't matter. Get down the club.
That's right.
Have a couple of frothies over the bar, enjoy it, support the night, and get down there because it's always a great night. And as I said, a big night for our club.
Yeah, look, like I say, there will also be some raffles and an auction there, Vern, as well. So you know, get on down there and don't be afraid to if as you're saying, if you can't get down there and get involved, just at the bar and have a beer, get a few raffle tickets, have a bit of a punt, have a bit of a bid on the prizes and awards. And I think there's a Ricky Ponting signed cricket bat, Vern, as well. So.
Oh, there you go. I might be in for that. But the other thing too, guys, make sure that if you do know, even if the juniors out there and your parents have got particular positions where from work they've got some giveaway stuff, whether it be stubby holders or anything, and just get onto them and see if you can get something donated. Because as I said, it all goes to the club, and they're all volunteer gifts, obviously, for the quiz night. So it all helps.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, Vern. Like I say, anything we can get down there will all help it out. It all goes towards our club. Look, like I say, we need to make sure we all get behind these and sponsor them. Running the club does cost a fair bit of money. Coaches, cricket balls, getting the grounds prepared and ready and all that sort of stuff. So, so get on down and help your club out, people.
Beautiful. Thanks, RJ. Nothing else we need to go over there, mate?
Not I can think of, Dave.
No, beautiful. It's been a great show. Guys, thanks for having us here with you tonight on Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show, our 12th show for the 2014-15 season. A quick thanks to the people we can't thank enough in our major sponsors at the club, Urtec, Northside Residential, Hardin Eastern Conti, Stella Premium Services, Sunwise Outdoor Living, MTM Physiotherapy, Jets Wanneroo, Subway Madley, Resource Instrumentation and Electrical, ADL Electrical, Liquor Barons Greenwood, Phoenix Insurance Brokers, Total Industrial and Safety, and JC Plastering. So thanks to all those fantastic sponsors for all their hard work, and make sure you all come along to this quiz night because it'll be a great night. But before I leave, I must say thanks to my fantastic co-host, Ian Purcell. Thank you, Ian.
David Werner, thank you very much. Just a quick little shout out to Cassandra Curley. Happy birthday for tomorrow. I love you, honey.
Happy birthday, Cass. Have a lovely day, my dear. And we'll sort out Jurian shortly. But everyone, guys, we've got stumps coming up after us. So obviously there'll be everything else that's cricket. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to have any more than our fantastic show, mate. It's
wouldn't think so, Vern.
No, wouldn't have thought so either. So, but that will be on next, and it is one of our favourites on the way home. And then later on, we'll have JT the Brick, Purce's favourite show.
David, did you know that he's been to Australia?
And he loves Australia.
And he's on the radio in the United States of America.
And that fires him up. So, guys, good night, and thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back here next week on Monday, 7 p.m. for Roos News, the Wanneroo District Cricket Club radio show. Good night.